Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Beefo, and Luby, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. It is a new week. It is 4th of July week. A lot of people are in holiday mode, but not here. They are in full-bore work mode. We are at the soon-to-be-open Dear Olivia in Parkland, Florida, a place that obviously always could use a new good restaurant, and that's where these two fine gentlemen come in. Again, it is Parkland, Florida, University Drive. The address is going to be 7805 North University Drive, and I've got Paul Greenberg, one of the managing partners here at Dear Olivia. It's named after his daughter. And, of course, Eddie Pozzuoli of Pozzuoli Hospitality. They are doing bang-up work all over South Florida. Guys, how you doing this fine holiday week?
Great.
Eddie? That's
Wonderful.
a great.
I'm couldn't be happier.
We're moving. We're moving.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm always appreciative when you invite us to places that are works in progress, because people don't have an appreciation of how much work goes into a new restaurant, all the details, all the hurdles you have to jump through. Wiring, electric, fire suppression, plumbing, kitchen, cleaning, equipment, new tables, new chairs. I've missed about 100 million details, but that's why Eddie Pozzuoli is the master at this. And Eddie, you look a little beat up today, but
I'm a little tired today.
how are you? Just people give a sense of what has been happening here, what the future holds, and when we might be anticipating an opening.
So we are moving actually quickly here, which is the reason for the looking beat up. This is a good problem. But yeah, we're in the 11th hour now, so everything is starting to come to a head, and you try to balance, people working with, getting things done. And then now on the other side, begin hiring and interviewing and, talking about all training and all that stuff. So we've got kind of like two completely different lives going on, just this business,
right?
And then factor in the other
which
restaurants.
You just opened a new place in Coral Springs down the road, which is a smash hit. Eddie and Vinny's
Phenomenal. Coastal
Italian, and that opened in March, right? Doesn't it seem like 3 years ago and not 3 months?
Yes.
And Paul, look, you've done a bunch of openings for a bunch of different brands,
Sure.
right? Does it ever get easier?
It actually does. You learn more and more each way of what can we do better? How can we make this more involved? What is great? What can we do for the staff and the team? So yeah, it actually does get easier, surprisingly.
And how many have you done? How many activations, as they say?
Openings?
Yeah.
So far in my life, 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a nice number.
through my whole life. Yeah.
And Eddie, for you,
Where are we at?
Including, I guess, family.
Yeah, it's
businesses?
hard because we have a couple, takeovers and rebrands,
Right.
Which is just as difficult.
Yeah, in some instances it could be harder, but in other instances it's easier. So 4 or 5.
And this
including
is
those.
not quite starting from scratch. It's not a build out from the ground, but it's taking over a previously existing space.
Sure.
And how far along are you in terms of Luby walked in and goes, "Oh my God, how's it going to be right?" And I was like, "Luby, calm down."
You guys did that when we
Yeah,
when we were
and then
Luby
Vinny's
tends
did
to
it.
panic, and I was like, "Relax, Luby."
There's
I've
no
seen
food here. That's why.
I've seen yeah,
That's
That's true. I've seen restaurants come together where opening was later that night at 6 p.m. and I walk in at 10 a.m. and I was like, "Oh, I don't know how they're going to do that," and they
that's
do it.
crunch time. That's
Yeah.
the best. But I don't think there's anything more fun in the industry because when you got to get stuff done, you got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, but it always winds up getting done. There's something amazing about hospitality folks.
Somehow
We
there's
make
a
it
way.
happen.
So Eddie, again, the target date late July, correct?
That's the goal. The 28th of July.
28th. You have a
28th,
date
okay,
on the
you have a
calendar,
date.
and that's a soft opening, friends and family.
No.
That's
No,
Oh, that's opening.
That's
Oh, wow.
opening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Opening night.
My birthday.
Ready
So-
for
That'll be a
all the
birthday.
Let's Eat South Florida critics
Yeah.
out
That'll
there,
be a
which I
birthday.
don't know if you want that. Boy, we had a weekend on the group, and I contributed to it with my Publix saga, but that's another story. We'll do that later in the show. All right, Paul, backstory. The concept here, obviously, named after your daughter, so
Mhm.
there's a lot on the line for you personally when
Yes.
you put your own daughter's name on the door. What is this place going to be? What can you describe? Cuisine, atmosphere, etc.
It's going to be, a classic, all your favorites with our take on them. Classic American cuisine, elevated. So the food portion is being done by Chef Jeff Tunks.
Okay, so Jeff is
Chef
has
Jeff, who we know from Corvina and Eddie
Eddie
Vinny's, and
Vinny's. done a
Culinary
fantastic
Institute
job.
of America trained guy who's been around the block, knows what he's doing. Excellent food.
Yeah, he is. He's out of his mind. And then we've got a great team. With Christina, Eddie, myself, Richard. We got a great team. Jose, they're coming on board here that know the industry, that know what it takes to get done. And what we want from Dear Olivia is we want a place that you can go and call your home. There's nothing more that I enjoy is seeing people at the restaurants smiling, because it's a gathering place. People get together for food. It's kind of tradition, everywhere, that we have the opportunity to bring people together, to have people share in memorable experiences with each other. And we get to be a part of that. And that's what my vision is. It's fun. It's exciting. It's love. It's everything that we've put in personally, the time and effort.
Now, Eddie, let me ask you a question. And apart from being a masochist, why time it so that it's so close on the heels of the opening of Eddie and Vinny's? And, season's not really here until late October, and you're pushing for late July. Why do this to yourself?
Well, some things just happen the way they happen,
Mhm.
and us finding the space and taking over the space, and kind of we didn't have a choice as to when the place got listed for sale when we bought it. So
Right.
we're just kind of going with that timeline of we were able to get into it last December.
Mm-hmm.
And then begin the work that we're doing. And we had Eddie and Vinny's opening. So we kind of dragged our feet for a little bit to space out a little bit.
Stagger quarterly. Once a quarter.
And now, now we're just kind of foot on the gas pedal and pushing at it.
And both of you guys, being veterans of the industry, is it better sometimes to open in what is known as the low season, the dead season, so
I
that
like
it gets a chance to kind of find its footing before it is go time in the winter?
I think we couldn't be opening at a better time,
Agreed.
because, and not to mention out west is not as seasonal as out east, but right now there is a lot of people that are out of town, and, kids are on vacation, kids are at camp, parents go to Europe, or, stuff like that. So it gives us the ability to kind of land on our feet over the first couple weeks. And I'm sure it's going to be busy regardless, which is great, but we're not going to have that crazy influx from maybe the seasonal people that come down to Boca or whatever. Because Parkland is Parkland, everybody lives here year
It's
round.
a bedroom community. And
So some of those people might be out of town, but I think we're still going to kind of open up with a bit of a bang, and try to get open before football season and all that kind of stuff. So we kind of become ingrained into as people's place to go for this or for that.
Yep. Well, let me give the lay of the land, because look, Eddie and Vinny's opened 3 months ago. March is the busiest month for restaurants between spring break and St. Patrick's weekend is always usually big. But any lessons learned from the opening there to apply here, since it's kind of in that same general Northwest Broward vicinity, or every creature is its own organism? And
they're both very different in a lot of ways. Eddie and Vinny's is only open for dinner when we open.
Yeah.
And we're still only open for dinner except for Fridays. So in a lot of ways that was, I would say, easier. Because we're going to be opening right out of the gate here for lunch and for dinner.
Okay.
So
7 days.
You are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you anticipate this being a place for people to watch football games on weekends during the fall and all
Absolutely.
that? Yeah.
Football starts end of October. Excuse me,
end of
August.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, training camp is a couple of weeks, but
yeah.
oh god.
College
Not
football
far
is end of
away.
August,
Yeah. So so this is going to be a both neighborhood gathering spot, and as I was saying, Whereas Eddie and Vinny's is on that main Sample Road corridor, which has a lot of activity and restaurants and stuff. This is kind of its own neck of the woods. As I was driving up here, I hadn't been up here in a long time, and this is what like Broward used to be, where you actually see empty tracts of land with greenery. Obviously, there are a lot of homes in the surrounding area. There's the Parkland Country Club here. There's actually a Publix. I've got issues with you, Publix, but we'll talk about that later. But it's in the shopping plaza. It used to be Deja Blue, correct?
Yes.
And but yeah, when you come up here, and now I see the stretch of University Drive has been renamed Michael Moskowitz Way, and it makes me feel old because I knew Mike very well. He was a very, very beloved local lawyer, political activist, lobbyist, and lobbyist not a dirty word in his case because he lobbied for good things. And obviously a lot of people know his son Jared now.
I was going to say, is Jared his son?
Jared is his son. That's how old I am.
He's a congressperson from this area.
Yeah, and I used to kibitz with Mike Moskowitz during the whole early 2000, the recount and all that stuff when I first got into news. Anyway, he was taken far too young, and I'm happy that they did rename this in his honor. A lot of people knew him and loved him in this area. But this area, again, it feels like a smaller old Florida before things got built up everywhere. And I guess you're shooting for just accommodating that neighborhood crowd, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that Parkland loves it. They need it. They want it. It's exciting, and everything that we want to bring is something that nobody experiences. I never met ownership that is involved in their restaurants as we are.
Yeah.
It's a family affair.
Yeah. You have to, I think it's super important to have that personal relationship with the guests. They become friends, they become family. And I think there's nothing better than that. And I think there's no community better than that to start with Parkland, because the community is just phenomenal. It's such a tight-knit community.
Yeah. And obviously seen its share of both heartbreak and also triumph through the years. Great place to raise a family.
Sure.
Good schools. So yeah, I wish you guys all the best of luck. I see there's empty glass. Is this like figuring out which glasses you want to use?
No, these are left over from Deja Blue.
It's off to the side of the camera here. You want to pass one? I could take a phantom. Let's do phantom shots because looks like everybody's ready for it. Let's quickly jump to some of the other properties and things going on. Eddie and Vinny's, things are going well. Any summer specials and 4th of July open, close for Friday the 4th itself?
We are open. It's inherently a slower night. Kind of disappointing that it's on a Friday this year.
Yeah.
But it kind of is what it is, and we'll just kind of work through that. And we're just trucking along. We're doing great over there. We finally started our Friday lunches and our happy hour over there. So happy hours Monday through Friday, 4 to 6, and then our lunches go from 11:30 to 4 on Fridays.
It's like the nice Friday weekend is almost here.
You want to cut your day short. You come there, you have some drinks, and kind of fall into the happy hour, because that's like the whole goal is have the bar nice and busy as happy hour begins. That way, it's you've got a good vibe kind of going into the weekend.
Nice. And some of the other properties, you've got still the social hour going on all summer long at Corvina Seafood Grill in Boca Raton. Crazy Eddie, I sent you a clip this morning. I don't know if you saw it.
I don't think I saw it.
Okay. Things pop up in my reels on Instagram, but it was an old Crazy Eddie commercial from New York when they were not just selling electronics, but also exercise and gym equipment. As the guy going, Crazy Eddie, we're not just electronics. And it shows him in a sweatsuit working out on one of these very rudimentary elliptical machines. But I always think of, when I see Crazy Eddie, I think of you because you're giving it away. The prices are insane, 50% off. What are the parameters now? I know things.
So it goes from 4 to 5, 7 days a week. So still 50% off the whole menu, with the exclusion of raw bar, sushi, and I think that's it. Yeah, right? That's it. Yeah, so all drinks, everything.
Seafood towers obviously are raw
bar. Part of raw bar,
yeah. But all drinks are on special 50% off.
And then from on Sunday to Thursday, after that ends, we do 25% off the whole menu with same exclusions.
Till 9 p.m., right? So that's a great deal all night long. It's not, so even if you don't want to come in on the earlier side, there's still good deals awaiting. Again, that's Corvina all summer long. That's going through like September.
Yeah, through probably October. You know, the idea was the social hour got so popular last year, and as you guys were there a couple of times, there's a line of
Like a line.
40 people waiting at the door
Yeah.
who are like, okay, how do we
Sustain
give
it.
the kitchen a little bit of a break and also be able to provide a similar experience to all guests, maybe not just those who can go out to eat at 4 o'clock, because there's people that work still. So we're like, okay, we can't do 50% off all night, so let's taper it back a little bit, and let's do 25%. And so far it's kind of spread it out a little bit more.
Nice.
Sustained.
It's made it more like easy to execute, I guess, on our end as well.
My general sense is that more people have come to the place and are coming back, right? Is that accurate? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
So the whole goal is get the name out there.
Yeah.
The location doesn't do us any favors. You think East Boca, everybody knows everything in East Boca, but
No.
being on like a little side street
Yep.
off of Palmetto and Federal, a lot of people kind of miss that because there's no street frontage or anything like
Right.
that. So unless you know it's there or have intentions of going just there, you kind of miss it. So the idea was like get the name out to as many people as possible. We had people coming from West Palm, we had people coming from Miami, and I think we were successful in getting Corvina to become a household name. And now it's a matter of, okay, how do we make this work for the business now? It's kind of like a little bit of a give and take.
and on that block now too. And I think this is a good thing for Corvina
Yes.
is that Patsy's Pizzeria has opened, and different concept, classic, old school New York, thin pizzas, but people are going to check that out, and then they'll see, hey, Corvina's here, and I could go in and get 50% off my bill. And I think it hopefully will lead to more people seeing it. And again, when there's more clusters of restaurants, people tend to come and check
they
it
bounce,
out.
They bounce between the two. I know people aren't going to come to us every day. They're not going to go to Patsy's every day. They're not going to go to Mia Rosebud every day. Not going to go to Chops every day. So these
Right.
are all, like a pitching wedge from our front door.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have actual restaurants open near us now, because that Patsy's space has sat
No, but
vacant
nothing. Yep.
since we took over the space in October 23. So it's nice to actually have something next to us.
Yeah. So Paul, what's your role here? I mean, are you going to be the one that's like overseeing everything
Both of
day
us.
to day?
No,
Or
yeah, Eddie, myself, Christina,
Yep.
absolutely. We'll be here.
You keep bouncing.
We have a great team that's come on board that I've had experience with, that are excellent at what they do, and they'll be running the day-to-day while Eddie and I continue to build the brand, and we keep growing the brand, and not just this brand, all the brands.
Nice. And is your daughter happy about having her name on a restaurant? Or
I don't know how happy his sons are.
She's she loves it. She, I said something. I said, well, maybe Cameron can help you out with the script.
no?
Nope. So she's pretty happy about it.
How old is she now?
She's 9.
9. That's a
No,
great age. They
nice.
still listen.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah,
Once they hit
do.
those teen years.
Yeah.
7th grade,
I
they
see the
turn into
difference.
different creatures.
Yeah.
It's,
I'm learning that.
Yeah.
I'm learning that now.
Yeah, but then
I
they
said,
come back. I saw
Yeah.
you
Oh,
were
no,
away
no,
on-
no.
you were on
My
vacation
daughter's
with
come
your
all
daughter.
the way
Yeah.
back. I'm
Yeah.
very proud of Natalia.
Supposedly the teenagers are fun, and then they come back around. at the
Yeah,
end of the
she's really
teenagers.
turned into a delightful young lady, and she's working in the biz now.
all right.
And she's pulling in some good cash. She's working as a waitress for the summer at a restaurant that shall remain nameless. But she got her training, and she was on the floor. And actually, usually a place where they work in teams, they threw it to the wolves by herself on a Saturday night.
Good
Oh,
for
wow.
her.
And she
It's the
pulled
best
through.
way to learn.
And
All
they
right.
said she did fantastic. So
Good.
she's
Nice.
really proud. So
Yeah, that's fantastic.
and now, thank God, Daddy doesn't have to keep funding her shopping expeditions.
It never ends, though, from what I hear.
I know, but at least get a little bit
Get a
of
respite.
relief. But will there be other Dear Olivias? Is that
Yeah.
like the concept?
started
And then you
looking for
can't name them for
places.
all the kids. You can't say Dear Cameron or
Nah.
no.
Oh, so you would make this
Brand,
like
Yeah, we have a
An
brand we're
offshoot.
building. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. This is not just
It's a concept.
Exactly.
yeah.
It's not just a one place that we want to do. We want to build this brand because I feel that we have the touch to make it what we want at every location and put our personal touch in there. And that's what I believe really is the key. You have the whole team buying in. They believe in it. And it goes back to the culture.
Well-
We have a great culture, and the culture that we have, we're going to, to bring out. I read a great quote from the owner of Tijuana Flats
Mhm.
when they sold and they started going down, and the owner, it stuck with me. says, the owners, they're in there every day with the team. They're putting their work foot first. And when you lose that, you lose the company.
Yeah.
And that's something that always stuck with me. And something that Eddie, Christina, and I all believe in, that, the culture has to be there. We're not owners that are just going to say, okay, you got it, we're out, we'll be back. No, you got to be there. You have to, you have to put your time in, and something that we love. It's not like coming to work.
Absentee
It's something that we love.
owners. No, you've got to be
Especially in this
involved and
industry,
around
oof.
because employees know it and
Yep.
customers can sense it. So
your employees are a reflection of you, and if the culture is not right,
Yeah.
if your employees, those are the people that are dealing with your guests directly. So, if somebody comes in angry at work, or just doesn't feel like they're a part of the team, or want to help the greater good of the restaurant, then those are your representatives. So how can you expect to have a perfect lights out business if your representatives that are dealing directly with your guests are not aligned with you? So us being visible and present and engaging with the team and actually caring about them, treating them as people, not just numbers, is goes a really long way. And we wouldn't be able to do it any other way. Our team is everything to us.
very nice. All right, a couple more things. I know, Eddie, you've got to go, right? Yeah. All right. He's a very busy man. He's got people to see, and but basically, Prezzo, things are going all right. The two locations, Boca Raton, obviously we've been to a bunch. Palm Beach Gardens area is booming, but summertime, is it?
It's summertime. It's the same thing every year. We try to plan for it as best as possible, and the key, and once again with the culture and the team, is let them know in the middle of season, like, you guys need to save the money now, because as
stash away those acorns and nuts.
As we get into summer, these shifts aren't going to be there. There's not going to be a 45-hour week where you're getting overtime and stuff like that. And as much as we push and try to do as much as we can to get people in the door, but at the end of the day, a lot of people do have their shifts cut, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the school season going into summer as well. So it kind of all helps, because we do have a lot of FAU and Lynn students that work with us, and they go away and it gets slow. So there's not much laying off to be done. But
that's right. They come and go as the season because of their school schedules, which is nice. You're doing some summer specials at Prezzo also.
So we actually just shifted to an all-day menu there. So one of the things that we were talking with our chef about was, doing a separate lunch and dinner menu made it labor intensive for the team during those off hours. So 3 o'clock when lunch ends, you've got to have somebody there that's prepping the whole line for now the dinner service. And he's like, it'd be it'd be a lot easier if we can shift to an all-day menu to where you don't have to now, go to each station on the line and say, okay, now I need to put my 6-ounce chicken breast instead of my 4-ounce, and all that stuff. So we just made a switch in Boca to an all-day menu, and we did remove the lunchbox. But we kept a daily lunch special. To still provide as much of a value as we could.
And those are going for still like the $15,
$15
$16 range.
$15. Yeah. And
it's a sweet spot for lunch. People want to pay about $20, including the tip and tax.
You look around the area of Boca, whether it be the other full service restaurant within our shopping center, or even up the street at any of the other full service restaurants, like within a mile of us. We're right in the sweet spot, or even below the sweet spot for average price for a lunch. And that's where we want to be. We want to be approachable. We want to be a place you can come any day or night and feel like you're getting a good value. And that lunchbox inevitably just turned into too good of a value. And it just wasn't
sad to see the name go of the special, but that's all right. We'll but you do have those daily lunch specials.
Exactly. So we wanted to still have something, but we couldn't. You can't be open for lunch just off of a $14 lunch unless you're fast casual, zero servers, zero busters, zero food runners, zero hostess, zero managers. It's like there's a significant amount of payroll that comes into operating.
And the nice thing about the all-day menu is because some people just want a sandwich or a sub for dinner, and you can have a salad. You can split a salad and get a sandwich and that kind of thing, and have a couple of drinks, and that's
and we made it like a kind of a have it your way situation where like the entrees for dinner have your choice of side and whatnot, rather than this always coming with spaghetti. Like, if you want to do salad with it, you can have a side salad. If you want to do a vegetable with it, you can do vegetables with it. So it's more appealing to people that might not, want to get that chicken parm with spaghetti all the time, and they can have that option to deviate a little bit, but still kind of get their fix on a chicken parm.
All good. Prezzo is, one of my favorite spots
Yeah,
when
do a
we're
great
in
job.
Boca. I love it. All the food is very approachable and very delicious. Everybody loves Italian food, as we also saw at, or still seeing at Eddie and Vinny's. Did Luby hit you up about his, was it your mother-in-law's
Well,
birthday
I
coming
actually
up?
sent my brother-in-law, his father, and my sister-in-law there, and because they reached out, we want a steak place, so I gave him like 6 places, but I was pretty much pushing them there because I was like, look, I know you guys like a lot of different things. If you want to explore both seafood, pasta, and
Steaks are
steak,
phenomenal.
Eddie and Benny's does a great job. So they went there because I laid it on pretty thick, and they had a freaking great time.
Oh, good.
And we've talked to my families about it. So we're gonna take my mom there for her 70th a week from Saturday.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So
That's
like
awesome.
really, really, really stoked
Awesome.
because that's the thing is like everyone eats a little different, and that's why I like Eddie and Benny's. It's elevated. It's really high quality, but it's not pigeonholed
Mhm.
Nope.
in one direction.
Yeah, you're not
Agreed.
stuck in like a North Italian
Yep.
type of, cuisine or Southern Italian type of cuisine. You kind of have a little bit of everything. And what it was really fun for us to make this menu because like, we like pick and choose. Like we love this from this place. We love
Right.
this. And like being in Coral Springs, there's always going to be that one person that
That just
doesn't-
wants the salmon.
just either
No,
just
they
wants
have
the
a salmon
or
there. His
just-
father ended up
or
getting a
just wants a
salmon.
steak or
Yep.
it's there for everybody to kind of enjoy, and I think that's what makes it so special. It's not just you're not just getting pasta there, you're getting an experience, and you're getting great pork chops, veal chops, steaks, and phenomenal seafood.
And everything is high quality there. I
Mhm.
can't wait to get back and come
Yeah, it's a
back
great
up
job.
in the northwestern areas. I guess one last thing. Usually you and the family get a little getaway breather, but now there's
This
no
is
rest
probably
for
not
the
that
weary,
year.
right? Do
We,
you
we
do
did
that?
we did Legoland last week. It was-
Oh, okay.
That's a
We
good
drove
quick
up
getaway.
and back in the same day.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
that's what you get. You
Oh,
got to
God.
get your. Although I don't know if that's much in the way of relaxation.
No, we're
with
going-
a family of
Yeah,
five.
well,
We're taking a couple days before we open Dear
Oh,
Olivia.
on
Paul's
the
gonna
4th of
make
July
Eddie-
weekend.
He's force feeding us
He's,
a
yeah.
vacation.
Paul's
he's
more
dragging you down
experience.
to the Keys.
2 days.
Restaurant
which
tour,
is-
like, dude, we're going away.
and I tell you what, the Keys is really great for recharging because
100%.
it seems like a totally different world once you get down
Oh,
there.
yeah. Just
And
relax,
so Eddie, get a little bit of a breather, and then it's going to be that final push, like sprinting the last 4 miles of a marathon. But I know you guys will get it done.
Yep.
We have full faith
Oh,
and
we
confidence.
got the furniture here already. We're
Yeah.
moving.
No, you're
We
in
got
the right
boots
direction.
coming in next week.
I see,
Oh, nice.
I see everything out here. It's just not
Mhm.
arranged yet, but
Just
I see.
not clean.
Luby gets a little panicky, but I saw all the backs. I was like, no, they're in
All
good
the
shape.
colors,
They're good.
you know, it's still dark. You know,
We
we
have
got a
all
lot
the
of good stuff
all the
coming.
wallpapers here. The walls are ready for wallpaper. So like the moment wallpaper goes up, it's going
It
to look
changes
right.
everything.
Yeah.
And the moment the booths go in,
And as long as then the old glasses will go out, and you'll bring
Yeah,
out
those
the,
will disappear.
Yes. There's a nice little like retention pond, fountain area in the
Yeah.
back. You're gonna have a patio back there,
Oh,
so
yeah.
when the weather gets nicer, it will be a great place to.
Last night was beautiful out.
Yeah,
You know
no, I was
what?
gonna say last night it was really nice.
It was.
I
I mean,
live,
the
like,
weather
10
was
minutes from here.
beautiful.
That's the funny part. Actually, there's certain times in June and July
Yeah.
where you get that sea breeze or breeze coming
was-
in,
yeah,
and
it
And
it's
then other
great.
times it just feels like you're
Yeah,
Like
it's
today.
a
Can't
sauna.
breathe.
Today it's just sauna, but it's all good. All right, well, Eddie, I do hope you get a little bit of R&R in before the final push.
nonsense. We're going.
I know you're going to be open before you know it, and
Yes.
then we'll be in here and we'll see the magical transformation,
yeah.
and we'll get to eat some of the food and libations here.
Wait till you guys try the food
I
here.
like this because I've already bellied up to the bar. I don't even have a chair today.
You're perfect.
But
though.
I am
Just ready.
very, very
Yeah.
comfortable here. Hey, can I get a Tito's Martini? Very dry. Just throw the vermouth over your shoulder like that. That's it. That's
Ready.
going to be great.
Yep.
We'll let you go. Paul, I don't know if you want to stick around.
I'll hang.
We'll hang. We got some topics. We've got a contest winner to announce. And we've got many other things to discuss here after a busy weekend on the Lunchbox. We'll be back with more from the soon-to-be open Dear Olivia in Parkland, Florida, after these words.
Hey, Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family-run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Juan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Juan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at juans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. The finest quality, warm hospitality, and world-class creativity. Those are the ingredients that make Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse, a special place. Come experience the restaurant that's Michelin Guide recommended and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved, with an impressive collection of steaks, seafood, and more, like their foie gras creme brulee. Daniel's is located at 620 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, just south of the New River Tunnel, open Tuesday through Sunday for dinner. For reservations and information, go to danielssteak.com. Fresh local fish, a sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hours 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. A tradition for South Florida sports fans for more than 30 years. Shenanigans. It's at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, the place to go for all your favorite teams and events and food that's not your ordinary sports bar fare. Award-winning wings, burgers, fresh fish, and more, TV screens galore, and all-day happy hour specials. The kitchen and bar are open into the wee hours, perfect for late-night bites and very close to the airport. For playoff action, football season, and a good time anytime, Shenanigans. All right, we're back at Dear Olivia. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
a little bit empty in here. I'm a little bit lonely now. Luby can come into the screen. Why don't you come on in all the way? There we go. Eddie Pozzuoli had to go off and not fight City Hall, but you got to deal with some permitting things and when you
Move
get
some
in the
things. Yeah,
restaurant.
you
And we've got Paul is coming back. Yeah, here we go. We've got Paul Greenberg back here, Dear Olivia, 7805 North University Drive in Parkland. Yeah, it's kind of a remote corner. I would say the most northwestern part of Broward that you can get.
pretty much. Yeah.
The other side of this canal here, you see 441, and then it starts, Boca starts out there. But this location, I mean, is it challenging because it is kind of in a corner, or
No, I actually love it.
Yeah.
I think the everything happens for a reason, right?
Right.
And this location popped in our lap, and the design, the setup, everything to me was perfect about it.
Yeah, and I do love that it kind of feels like
I mean, it has water.
an enclave that has water that,
Mhm.
when people see water, they
just
just
get
tend to
attracted.
relax. Yeah.
Agreed.
How big is it going to be eventually? How many seats in, out? Do you have all the schematics yet?
Not yet, but very soon we're putting different plans together. But a good amount.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this bar area is going to have some booths along the wall.
Booths back there. There'll be
Yep.
booths over there. We're going to keep this open, this area open, for people to walk and enjoy themselves. We're going to have entertainment at
Oh,
night.
so it's gonna be like a bar area.
yeah,
Oh,
bar
nice.
area,
yeah.
yeah.
There'll
We
be
want to create
entertainment.
that as well.
I
So
imagine there'll be some TV screens to watch the sports.
28,
28.
Oh wow, you're gonna
26.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So it is going to be
We're
loaded
going like
for
a
the
sports
sports
bar feel,
activity.
okay.
Yeah.
And then these windows, will they be opening up?
Yeah,
and-
open up. We have the fans right there to keep the cool air in, the hot air out. But it's going to be great, especially the 6 months a year that we have that are beautiful down
Yep.
here.
Yes.
Just sitting out here, with a glass of wine and just sitting outside on the couches or a table and just enjoying yourself.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. Are you and the lovely Miss
stoked.
Shirley going to come out here?
I'm really excited. Well, we were excited for
Both.
Eddie and Vinny's because it's literally somewhat down the road. This actually is closer
Mm.
than Eddie and Vinny's because we live off of Wiles
Okay.
and 441. So it took me less than 10 minutes to get here.
Yeah.
Mayo's right. I don't go this way often, but like whenever I come out to Parkland, it just has a different feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
But this shopping center is great because it's already a shopping center that already was really busy for a Monday afternoon. I didn't realize there was another Publix here that was jammed. So, and what's interesting is so you're in an already thriving shopping center, but you are off in the corner, which I thought was really
Mhm.
cool. You do have your own standalone building that has waterfront views.
Yes.
And that fountain is really nice. So I'm like,
Beautiful.
it's so funny because you think of it, quote unquote, canal, man-made, whatever. You don't, when you're sitting at a table eating, it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
Like when I walked around the corner and saw the water in the fountain, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, that is really cool. And it's something different than I really can't think of any in this
things
area.
that are just
Yeah.
on streets and
Yeah.
that have frontage where you maybe have a few tables and it's just overlooking a boulevard.
When it gives you a different, whatever you're in your water, there's always some kind of a breeze that sort of just
Yeah.
comes. So it felt, even during the middle of the day, it felt a little nicer when I got here than when I was walking up. So
And being back here, we have so much land. We have a lot of room for events.
yeah,
nice.
There's a lot of things that we're planning for,
And the parking is a breeze.
the
And
parking's
that's
great.
always a
Yep.
bitch on
Lots
the
of
east side of
parking.
town.
Yep.
You
There's
got to
lots
deal with
of
the
parking.
meters. Is it the right meter?
You don't have to worry about parking here.
No, it's all good. And do you realize Luby and his wife are expecting? So their first
Yeah.
child
Oh, congratulations.
son
will be
Our first
November
son.
17th.
She had 5 months today. She's very excited. 5 months, I
Good.
guess, is
That's
a big
awesome.
number. So
And
for you.
Thank you,
so on November 18th, she'll be in here just chugging down.
there you
yes,
go.
yes. Oh no, for sure.
I remember I brought my firstborn the day he left the hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I brought him right to
right to
Las Olas.
right to
And
your old place.
My
Yeah.
my friends and the staff, everybody was, somebody just sent me a picture of that. It came up on one of the
Oh, wow.
The memories.
one
Yeah,
of the
Facebook or
memories
something, yeah.
recently. Yeah, so it's great.
Oh, man, that's great.
that's neat. Luby, I would recommend refrain from bringing the little Luby here right
This
off
is more
the
of a
bat.
bar field, but
He
we
might
could.
get carded. But no, I know that you can be in here and get away a little
Yeah.
bit of an escape in the final months. While
Yeah.
Shirley
I'm
is
stoked.
yeah, but that's going to be again.
Yeah, look, we don't
congratulations.
mind traveling to go to places, but it is cool to be able, again, special occasions. I was able to push I didn't really have to push hard actually, but my brother-in-law to stay in Coral Springs for my
Yeah. now you don't have
in-law,
to
for
leave.
my mom. We stayed in Coral Springs, so to be able to go for a night out, 'cause I
Yeah.
know that's what you were sort of pitching, sports bar / lounge feel.
Grandma and Grandpa are going to be available for babysitting.
It's really cool to be
and
able to stay in the
it's
area.
Just 2
Well,
or 3
we're
hours.
working on a deal with can't say yet, but we're working on a deal where might be able to have the kids dropped off somewhere
really?
close to here.
Okay.
And
Is there a jungle gym around or something?
We're working on something.
that'd
We
be
have
great.
we
Yeah,
have,
that is smart because it is very family focused around here.
Yeah.
So why not
100%,
make
yes.
things family friendly?
you don't want to pay for an Uber. You don't want to pay for a babysitter. Okay,
Yeah.
there might be something close by that we
Interesting.
partner with somebody on, and it's like
Oh,
a kids
wow.
club.
This guy,
Oh wow!
he's thinking.
Oh my
He's
God,
always
that's
thinking.
amazing. Good for
Oh,
you.
well, there's the knife guy. I met him in the parking lot, and but there are no chefs on hand yet. They're just a lot of empty things.
Yeah.
But so you want to talk a little bit about Chicago? You just went,
Yeah.
I guess, on a little trip. I just was on the West Coast with San Francisco, Portland. I talked about it, but Chicago is a great city, not
Oh, it's
just for
awesome.
sports and people, but for food and everything.
Yeah.
Did you do any either fine or not so fine, I guess, Chicago dogs and hot beef sandwiches.
I had to introduce my oldest to Chicago fare, and we did the Chicago hot dog, the Italian beef sandwich. We did the tavern style pizza. We did the deep dish pizza. He likes tavern style. We've learned that.
I like the tavern style too.
The
With
thin,
those
it's really
little
thin, right?
irregularly cut, you get rhombuses and rectangles,
Yep,
and
he loved that.
triangles, and little bits and pieces.
Oh, it was
and
great.
you kind of lose track of how many you've had. So it's not like, oh, I've already had 2 slices. That's enough. It's like I've had 15 little
Yeah.
quadrangles.
Yeah,
and-
you feel much better about yourself when you do it like that. But the food was phenomenal. We got to go catch a couple of games at Wrigley.
Oh, that's
which was
great.
That's
which
great.
was phenomenal, and we just had a great time. It was, my son and I plan a father-son trip every year, and,
Nice.
and unfortunately the last year or two we haven't gotten to do that, but we started right back up with this, and
Nice.
we got to go see the Mariners play the Cubs, and Seattle's our favorite team.
Oh,
so it worked out
really?
really well. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I'll
So it worked
cherish
out well.
every moment.
I
That's
did.
great that when you get to go do those things with the youngins.
It
And
was very important.
soon, Luby, you will have
I'll
those memories.
learn that
Although
as
the
well.
next couple of years, I see a lot of dirty diapers.
That's an understatement.
The best part of having a child.
And
I'm
speaking
sure.
of Chicago and hot beef, has anybody checked out any of the new season of The Bear yet? I have
No.
not.
I have
wanna
not
watch it. I haven't
yet.
watched it.
No.
Okay.
No.
No,
No, I'm gonna get into it.
I heard from Michelle, baby mama Michelle. She said she watched the first episode the other day and it was pretty good,
Okay.
which sounds promising.
Got
'cause-
great reviews.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
I
last
love the
season
show.
was a
Just last
clunker.
season was more artsy
That's
than it
what
was
I heard.
show.
Yeah.
Like,
Season 1 was phenomenal. Anybody in the business immediately not only just related to it, they also had anxiety
Yeah.
attacks.
yeah,
watching
yes,
it.
yes.
Season 2 is pretty good. More character development. Last year was just filler.
They went off
It
shoot.
was just
weird.
all
Oh, really?
filler. It was like
Yeah.
they were stretching out
Yeah.
stories, things that could have been condensed into 5-minute vignettes,
Yep.
got turned into full
Episodes, yep.
episodes. So hopefully the plot moves along because there by the end of the last season, there weren't really any likable characters except for Cousin Richie.
Pretty much.
But we'll see if the chef Carmi redeems himself in any way.
You know.
Those chefs.
Chefs are fun, but we got some great ones.
You definitely.
Oh no,
you
Jeff
definitely
seems
go.
like the most even-tempered
Oh
chef
my
I've
God.
ever seen.
He's the best chef I've ever worked with. He is
Really.
legit the best. I mean, he is just so knowledgeable. He keeps us cool.
Yeah.
He everything he makes. I can't wait for you guys to taste the food.
I also think it's cool actually that he like pivots between
Different concepts.
genres or
Yeah.
concepts, and he
Yeah.
does it seamless, and he takes it very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Like when we first met him with Corvina, I don't know if he had just gotten here, but he was talking about being new to the area.
Yeah, and he immersed himself.
He like goes to the freaking
Markets.
markets and like wants to
That's what a good chef does.
Yeah.
weekly, sometimes
And-
daily, like, and which I thought was really fantastic, and it shows in his food.
Yeah.
What I love about him is like, he's an experienced guy, but he's an old dog who can learn new tricks, and he
Yes.
comes to a
Yep.
new area and he wants to learn about some of the South American and Latin American
Yep.
ingredients and
Phenomenal.
angles, and a guy who spent a lot of his career up in the Maryland, D.C.
Yeah.
area. So,
He's phenomenal.
and he just has that temperament where it's very soothing,
Yeah.
and it's usually chefs.
That's a
are-
great word.
Yeah, he
It
sort
is.
of feels like that.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a great word for it.
Whenever he's been on the show, I feel
He's
soothed.
very
I'm going to
calm.
nickname him Soothing.
He's very calm.
Chef Soothing.
Chef soothing.
But okay, so let me ask
But
you.
most of them are
because
maniacs. They're wielding the
No,
knives.
they're
and
very
they got-
passionate.
Well, they're
Yeah.
passionate. They
And
could
he's-
go a little hot and cold. and-
he's more even keel.
Yes.
Yes.
And it actually shows in not only because that's the thing is he's going to all the restaurants, which I find interesting. And still, you guys have such a great staff that it's being maintained wherever he's not.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Eddie's a busy guy. You're sort of a busy guy too, because you're going from all the restaurants. How do you
Yeah.
do that? Because I know this is going to be, more of your front facing. But you said, Eddie and Christina will also be highly involved in Dear Olivia. So how are you still going to now? You're opening the brand more. You're talking about opening it even more. How are you able to keep your presence and keep your mind?
Keep in mind, I don't know. The presence is what I love. The presence,
Okay.
being at the restaurants.
Okay.
It's not a job to me. It's being there. I love being there. I love the staff seeing me there. I love interacting with the staff. I've always been like that.
Okay.
That's been that's been the goal. And a couple of the guys that came over, worked with me previously, and they know my goals. They know my expectations. They know me. We all have the same beliefs, which is something,
important.
in the industry, but I just like showing up. I just like being there. Obviously, I'll be here
Nah, but
24/7.
the nice
Okay.
part also is that fairly tightly clustered.
Exactly.
You
They're
can
not
get
far.
between
Yeah.
here and Eddie and Vinny's in a matter of, I imagine, 10
Like
minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then shoot over if you need to Corvina.
It's right by my house.
Yeah.
Those are
So
each one are 5 minutes from my house.
Nice.
okay.
This
so,
is the furthest.
yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know how these chefs and other restaurateurs do it when they're talking about being in Austin and New York
that.
and Miami, and then it's like, you can only there's only so
Spread
much
yourself so thin.
time, and unless you can clone yourself, I don't know how they do it, but God bless them. The industry has
It's
gotten
impressive. I'll give, if you can bring a concept to other areas where you're not local.
Yeah.
It's
But it's all about your team and training the people to do it right in your
Yeah.
absence. And
Yep.
that's
I've traveled a lot when I've opened up locations 3, 4, 5 months at a time.
Yeah.
And it's tough. Yeah. I don't want to do that now with my children because
Yeah.
I want to be around
the
for
area.
them. So
Present.
these,
Yeah.
so
especially at the age
our
of,
goal is when we expand, it's going to be expanding like this.
In an area.
right.
We'll go,
clustered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
think that
And
that's
this
the
region
right
is
way.
big enough that you could
Oh,
actually
yeah.
open multiple units
Yes.
and still be within a 45-minute
concept.
drive.
Have you guys, because you've been more northern Broward, southern Palm Beach, have you guys thought of moving more south?
Oh,
Yeah, we
Miami.
have.
I know that's
I was
did it
in Miami
inside, he did it
last
outside.
I went
Fort Lauderdale, I'm definitely looking at.
And
Yeah.
I know you like Fort Lauderdale, and you've had a lot of
Yeah.
success there.
Yeah, that's most of my closest friends live down there, and it's the thing that I miss the most in the industry is getting to see the people that I was close with on a daily basis. So we are looking in Fort Lauderdale. We are definitely keeping our eyes
Because
peeled.
especially, all of what you guys do would work, but
I
this
think
feels like something that would
Southwest
be such.
is ripe for the taking too. Miramar. And
Well, I was in
Pembroke
Miramar,
Pines.
Pembroke Pines,
Yeah.
Pembroke
even
Pines,
Hollywood-ish. When you go
Yes.
more west, Davie, Cooper City.
We looked at
like-
a spot in West Palm Beach the other day. Things are growing up there
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
well. It was very it was flattering to Eddie and I that we haven't even opened up, and a group came to us and wants us to
Oh,
be
good.
an
Oh,
anchor
really?
tenant. Yeah, so I thought
Oh,
that was
wow,
very
that's amazing.
Your
Yeah.
reputation
guys-
is preceding you. That is
I
a
mean,
good
what you
thing.
did at Corvina, I know you guys came in and really helped take it to another place,
Sure.
Prezzo, but what you guys did with Eddie and Vinny's, where you came out the gates running, and
very proud of
it's
that.
really been very much what Tavolino was,
Yeah.
a temple place in not only Coral Springs, but people are traveling from all over, from out east to go there, like it is an
Yeah.
out east place. Like
Yeah.
you guys really have done such a fantastic
I have
job with that.
friends
It makes
coming up
sense.
from Fort Lauderdale to come see it, not even just because
Right.
of me.
No,
I
it's
had
great.
A good friend walk in the other day, and I'm like, why didn't you call me? And they just made a reservation. They didn't want to
You know what
bother.
I-
They
Yeah.
clearly didn't learn anything from me in the lunchbox show because I always send out the bat signal. Hey, coming in tonight.
But we're getting people from all over, and it's truly the food. I couldn't tell you like what's the best seller. Everything sells equally. That's
Nice.
how good the food is, which
Interesting.
is really cool
That's
to
good.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the airline chicken parm there. We're talking at Eddie and Vinny's, and I guess the steaks have been selling
Steaks
well.
the fillet is just unreal, and the
Very
pork
good.
chop is
The pork chop's
Pork
great.
chop is
great.
great.
To die for.
Yes,
I'm not a huge pork chop guy. That's how I know it was
Exact-
great, because it was wonderful.
Yeah, most people aren't, and that's a tough sell. And
Yeah.
it's one of our most popular items because
What
the
do-
staff believes in it.
Yeah.
It's good.
And you
Yeah,
got that. Is it the short rib pappardelle?
Yeah,
or-
pappardelle.
that's a
Oh.
memorable dish. It's really
Yes.
good.
The pastas were, look, the
Yep.
menu as well. You guys were excited about it for a reason, and
Yeah.
that makes us even more excited for Dear Olivia.
Chef David over there has done a phenomenal job.
Good.
And he puts a lot of passion into his food, and
it
he's-
shows.
yeah, he's a well even keeled chef as
Another.
well.
Nice.
Perfect segue because we're going to go into a second break. We're going to let Paul go about his busy
Yeah, he's another
life.
busy man.
But
I love
speaking
his
of
stuff.
speaking
Oh,
of
we
even
appreciate it.
keel, the Lunchbox is very proud to present and co-present the second edition of Pearl Jam by the Sea Oyster Festival, and also libations. We're going to have all kinds of bubbly, sparkling beverages with a Bellini bar. We call it Pearl Jam by the Sea, not because you're going to see Eddie Vedder or any of the bands there, but because you find pearls in oysters,
can, yes.
and we're going to be jamming out. We have not gotten any cease and desist letters,
No.
and I think everybody knows that it's not
That's
a
a
Pearl
great
Jam.
place, too.
Oh, even Keel, we love
Yeah,
Brad and
great
Dave.
job, yeah.
They have been longtime sponsors of the Lunchbox, and August 9th is the date. Very few VIP seats remain. Go online to oysterpearljam.eventbrite.com. oysterpearljam.eventbrite.com
Yep.
for your tickets. Couple of VIP seats left. That gets you indoor seating along with some extra goodies and early admission. Then general admission. Here's the deal. That I think is, if you're looking for a great value, you are going to get if you use the promo code Lunchbox on checkout, you'll get an extra $10 savings. So it'll mean GA ticket for $65. That's for all you can eat oysters on the half shell, along with all you can drink sparkling beverages, wine, Bellini bar, mixers. And this year we're going to have a full drum of paella along with that. So
Some other
kind of
things.
a little more substance along with the oysters. Really nice seafood paella. Brad and Dave are great chefs, so they're going to do a
Yes, they are.
fantastic job. Saturday, August 9th. Again, go online, get your tickets now. Tickets are going fast, and use the promo code Lunchbox for an extra $10 off the general admission seats. And again, VIP seats almost sold out. Get them while you can. All right, let's take break number 2, and then we'll come back. We'll have a contest winner, and we'll have my saga involving this thing. This has been the bane of my existence since
No one will
Friday
take it.
afternoon. Publix. We got issues, Publix.
There's one here. You can
And
try
I'm
this,
go-
Publix.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right.
Go annoy them.
But then I don't want to buy a new one. I don't want to patronize them again. I just want my $6 back for the lousy bottle that I got at a Publix, and I tried to exchange it at another Publix, and they said, we don't take this bottle. I was like, what do you mean? You sell? All right, I'll do it after the break. I don't know if I'm ridiculous or righteous. You guys can tell me. I took a pounding on the group, and I like that every once in a while. It makes me feel like I have a restaurant or something like
Well,
that.
you won't take a pounding if you come to Dear Olivia when it opens later this month.
No,
We're
this
ready.
is going to be all sunshine and rainbows.
agree.
here. Yeah,
I
it's all
agree.
good.
It's
Paul,
going to be fantastic.
thanks so
Thank you.
much.
Gentlemen, you're the
Good luck
best.
with the opening.
Thank you,
We'll
my friend.
see you when
Yes.
it's a finished product.
Yes.
Absolutely. We'll see you
So-
soon.
Have a great 4th, and we'll
Thank
see
you. You
everybody
guys
after
too.
these words. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended for a special occasion or any occasion. Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me. I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices, served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays, including their new burrilla tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-face smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining, and they are now featuring a monthly lamb roast brunch on the first Sunday of every month. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. When I get a craving for real Southern barbecue, Fat Boy's Barbecue is the place that I call home. Cooked low and slow with proper smoke and dry rub goodness, Fat Boy's has some of the best ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and chicken around. 5 delectable sauces and the tastiest collard greens, candied yams, and cornbread this side of heaven. 4 locations, including Deerfield, Coral Springs, Cypress Creek Road, and their newest location in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 706 South Federal Highway. Open 7 days with great lunch specials, online ordering, delivery, catering, and food trucks for your next event. To order, go to fatboysbarbecue.com today. That's Fat Boys with a Z, as in amazing. All right, we're back on the lunchbox. I look lonely here. But Luby is going to come join me in a second. We had a good weekend. Did you do anything, or you just kind of sat around the house and watched a pregnant woman get bigger?
We've had a lot going on, and I don't mind when we have a weekend of nothing, especially for her. She's able to just rest and relax because she does that, but she does work, and she's been good at staying off of her feet and stuff. But it was nice to have a weekend where we did nothing, and we literally did nothing.
Nice. Well, I did many things, but first thing we got to do here is take care of some business. The contest now is weird. Okay, so as expected, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, just totally obliterated the inferior team from the MLS. I predicted 5-0.
You were close. They would have surpassed it. They sort of mailed it in the second half.
So here's the thing with the contest. No tiebreakers needed this week for the winner. And then we have a situation as regards if there will be even any runners-up. So here's what happened.
Okay.
Bunch of entrants, and the restaurants, we were looking for 2 of them from the Chang gang. Valerie Chang, who won a Beard Award last year, opened up, it's called Mattie's. And then her brother, Nando Chang, won a Beard Award this year. Same award, best chef in the South region. Very unusual for 2 people in the same city to win it back to back, much less in the same family.
Well, so, especially when you including the South, and would Charleston count as the South?
Well, no, the way they divvy it up, there's the Southeast, which includes the Carolinas, but the South is a weird configuration. It has Louisiana, so you're talking like New Orleans. You've got Arkansas, Alabama, and then for some reason they throw in Puerto Rico along with Florida,
which has good food.
And there was a lot of semifinalists also from Puerto Rico and New Orleans. But basically,
New Orleans.
Nando won this year. He also got a Michelin star for his place, which is a chef's counter inside Mattie's called Itame AO. Now, the unusual situation was I thought we had 3 people alive after the horse race. It was the feature race at Gulfstream was won by number 2 at Work, which is a Joe Orsano horse. We love Joe Orsano because he is Joey Esposito's friend and trainer from Cafe Seville. Number 2, he was not the favorite. He's 4-1. So only 3 people had it going to the Paris Saint-Germain game, or so I thought, because when I looked back at the entries, 2 of the people did not include Maddie's. They just had Itame and Itame AO. So they put it Itame and Itame AO, which is the new incarnation, but they didn't have Mattie's. So
you said you have to get both restaurants.
I specified.
You even said the name of the people.
People who watched Friday's show,
I gave it
away. It was right there.
You gave it away.
You didn't even have to Google it if you watched Friday's show. Yeah. So if you didn't have Maddie's, then you can't go through. So basically, and this was impressive because the winner also had Paris Saint-Germain winning 4-1. She was off by just 1 goal.
Good for her.
But Laurie Newberg, congratulations. Nice. You are this week's 10 Palms at Gulfstream Sunday Brunch Contest winner. You and a guest will have brunch for 2 on a Sunday. And this is the part where I say we're going to be doing it again, our Sunday Brunch Bash, the Lunchbox Brunch Bash, July 27th. The day after the Tacos and Tequila Bash at Gulfstream, we're going to have our kind of a quarterly, sometimes 3 times a year gathering where we have contest winners and other friends and guests. If you are not a contest winner and you want to join us on Sunday, July 27th at Gulfstream 10 Ponds for Sunday brunch and a day of racing, live racing at Gulfstream, simulcasting from all over the country, including Saratoga.
Yep.
All you got to do is email me at mikemayoeats@gmail.com and you get a special 20% off discounted rate, $44 per person, plus tax and tip. And any additional drinks are extra, but that's a great deal because you can attest to
You can be there all day.
buffet.
You can definitely at least get 2 meals in, and even Joe's aware that people get 3.
So, Lori, I don't know if you and Eric want to come out
Yeah,
to
we'd love to
the
have you.
brunch bash. That would be a great day, but you could redeem it anytime in the next 3 months. Congrats to Lori Newberg. Now
Nice.
I've got to figure out something because
Okay.
the other
So
people
who'd
who
be
had
second?
the winning horse, they didn't. The way it works is you got to have the restaurants before you
So
advance
no
to
one
the
else
horse
had
race.
anything else?
Well, now the thing is, do I go back to those who had the right restaurants? And then the problem is the favorite, who was like even money, and there were 2 scratches. Do I then do a runner-up drawing amongst everybody? And then is it going to be like 8 people in for the run? I say, you know
I mean,
what?
I love Taco Craft. and I
Taco
love
Craft for
also Blue
25
Collar,
bucks.
But
I've got to get a bunch of those cards out to past winners. I'm a little behind in that because I was on vacation. I got to pick up some more cards, mail it out. So
we may
this
not
week,
have one this week.
we're
Actually.
we're gonna just scrap the runner-up prize this week because it turned into that nobody really finished a clean second.
No.
So Lori, you're the lone winner, and then we'll go
Nice.
back to awarding runners-up prizes
From this
next
Friday.
week after the July 4th. We will be at Gulfstream this Friday. All right, let's take our third and final break. And I guess we're going to run out of time for the full public saga. You could go on Let's Eat South Florida and just kind of look up what I've posted in the last
Did you at least
day.
get it at a Publix? Is that
Yes.
Okay.
I
And
got
they
it
no
at the
longer
Publix
sell
on
it anymore?
17th Street.
And they don't sell
I
Crystal Springs
attempted
anymore.
to return it, to another Publix, my old Publix where I have my prescriptions in Dania
Okay.
Beach on the way back from Gulfstream Friday.
They never
And I never
care
even
which
look
one.
at, like you think these Publixes sell these 5-gallon
Yeah,
jugs, right?
yes.
I never looked at whether it's Crystal Springs or Zephyr Hills. This one is Crystal Springs.
Okay.
And the clerk at the Dania one says, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't take Crystal Springs." I was like, "What do you
But
mean?
you got
I
it
bought
at a
this at a
Publix."
Publix." And the kicker of the whole story is because she's like, "Oh, we only take Zephyr Hills." I was like, "Yeah, but I bought it at."
You bought
I
it
said,
there.
"It's one thing if I got this at Target
Yeah, you're trying
or
to pull a move. People
Walmart.
do that.
I'm not trying to pull a move." I said, "I
No.
bought this at a Publix. I think I could return it at any Publix." No, we
Yes.
don't take it. Of course, I was in full Larry David asshole mode, and I was wearing my bananas shirt. So I
Oh,
went
man.
bananas.
Oh,
I wrote about it in great detail
oh
on
my
Let's Eat.
God, man.
But it turned into a whole thing where I'm talking to the manager and again, I'm failing to understand, why they can't do it. And somebody actually on the group in the whole thread, some people are bashing me saying you're ridiculous. It's just a bottle of water.
And
Just
I
bring-"
get that part, fine. Okay, but the other part of if you bought it somewhere, why can't you return it there?
So, and again, to me, it's all. And here's the kicker, which I didn't find out until after my arguing, and I was denied, and I had to take this back and put their full bottle of water back because when you buy water at Publix, they charge you a $6 bottle deposit fee.
Not if you
And if you
your
bring
own
back the
bottle.
empty, then you get it for $9.99 or $9.79 or whatever
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
nice.
The one on 17th Street apparently carries both Crystal Springs and Zephyr Hills. I didn't realize that other Publixes only
Don't.
carry the one or the other brand, and they can't accept it. But here's the kicker,
Yeah,
which I
kicker.
found out:
Yes, Mr. Kicker.
Zephyr Hills and Crystal Springs
Springs company.
are owned by the same parent corporation, Primo Waters. Primo has become basically a monopoly in the bottled water game. They own every major label around the country: Deer Park and Saratoga, and just any water you can name, they own it. So the parent
So
company
that's
is the
a joke.
same. And
So they could.
I've gone up the ladder at Publix after the manager shot
For
me
a
down.
$6 thing.
The manager shot me down, and I was like, "This is not the end of it." I said, "You realize?" I didn't say, "Do you know who I am?"
I have a lot of patience and persistence. And
I didn't say, "Do you know who I am?" Because I'm not that type. But I did say, "You realize?" I said, "I'm going to go full blast on social media."
I mean, Publix doesn't care. Some companies do. Publix.
But
doesn't care.
so I sent Publix the full post that I wrote on Let's Eat.
Yes,
I
yes.
sent it to them via their Facebook Messenger
Oh,
business
God.
page,
Oh,
and I
Mayo.
also emailed it to them. I am waiting a response. They gave me a case number. All right, now
It's $6, man. Even I'm like, okay.
because here was my contention.
I get
Okay,
its principles at this point. Yes.
I got this at a Publix.
yeah, I get it.
Any Publix that trades in these 5-gallon
Yeah.
water jugs should be equipped to
Yeah.
take back an empty and
And
apply
you
the
can
$6
ship it somewhere
credit.
else. I mean, yeah,
Again,
don't
I was
get
like,
that,
how is it internally? You can't just like internally have a truck go to the other Publix.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have food deliveries that go
100%.
back and forth all day. Manager wasn't willing to do that. She wasn't entertaining any of that.
Yeah.
And basically, I said, so you're saying to me that not only do I have to pay an extra $6 for this bottle of water because I have to put the deposit on it because you're not going to take this
Take
one,
this, yeah.
but then I have to make an extra trip to another Publix just to get the $6 for this water bag. And I
Yes.
said, that is not acceptable. Not acceptable. And imagine me doing that while I'm wearing a
I know,
banana
you're
shirt.
like a jerk off.
I was I was an asshole. I'll admit it.
You're
But it's
100%.
funny. Like I usually don't let little things bother me, but it
was weird. yeah.
because they make
The
billions
pushback,
in profit.
It's the pushback, yeah. The pushback.
They call themselves where shopping is a pleasure. And
Oh,
I
they
just
can't
said
call
to the
themselves
manager, I said, your motto is where shopping is a pleasure, right? And she goes, yes. I was like, well, this is not a pleasure. This is a hassle. You're costing me time and money. And I got the perfect response from one of the people on the group. A lot of people were just, of course,
No, because
lampooning
most
me
people would
for
just
being-
leave it in the garage and forget about it. Yes, I get it.
No, that's not me.
No. Well, you
Me,
might as well
I'll
get your
lose
money's worth.
$200 on a
Yeah,
horse
I was gonna
race.
say that.
But this $6 empty bottle of water, there's principle at stake.
Yeah, I get it.
Now, the sensible solution, and I imagine managers have this discretion, would have been, you know what, sir, we cannot accept this bottle at this Publix. But what I'm going to do is waive the $6 bottle deposit on the Zephyr Hills bottle
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you're now attempting to buy at this Publix. And we will waive that $6 and then just bring back this empty to the other location whenever you can. And in that case, then I'm $6 to the good, Luke.
Yeah, yes.
Then I'm
yes, you
getting
are.
a $6 bonus, because they're not going to charge me $6 there. I go home with my full water bottle, and at my house, I'm responsible for hydration and sanitation. This is me and Val's deal. Like,
Yeah.
I make sure we got the water. I use this water for the coffee in the morning. I don't trust the city tap water.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit insane.
Well, I mean,
when it
for
goes-
coffee, it's whatever.
Yeah. And so basically, if they had waived the $6 deposit on the new bottle and just let me go on my merry way with this empty bottle and then bring it back another time for the $6, then I end up $6 to the good. Then I'm being compensated
Yeah,
for
it
my
is pleasurable,
inconvenience.
yes.
That would be a pleasure to me, getting
Yes.
$6 to have the little inconvenience.
Our friend Todd Casado makes a good point. You will be on the wall at Publix, banned, 100%.
Banned. Well, I still have my prescriptions there, and I need my Ozempic, but I'm
Exactly.
thinking I have to transfer everything now because
You
everything is going to be
cannot go back to
tainted.
that
I have a very good relationship with my pharmacist at
I don't
Publix.
know. So
Zelda.
why pick a
at
fight at that Publix?
I'm not picking a fight. I'm
Aren't we going
stand-
to Gilbert's this week? So couldn't you have just taken it when we go to Gilbert's on 17th Street?
Yeah, but I wanted the full bottle of water, and I'm not outlaying another $6. I won $2,700 at poker. the other night.
Exactly. And you're about 6.
Am I a ridiculous human being?
Because I'm bad, but I'm bad across the board. Like I'm cheap and a miser about everything I do. I will go if a banana is 80 cents at Publix and it's 50 cents at Aldi. I will
You're
go to
going
Aldi
across
and get
the
my
street.
bananas. I
Right.
will. I admit that. But at least I'm consistent. You're not. Like you'll spend or be a part of spending. You can say you and Val spent that money because you made a decision together to go spend $1,000 on a person for a meal.
At Alinea.
You knew
which
that
was not
going
worth
into
it.
the
Yeah.
meal. I get it. Like you just did a trip with your daughter driving up the
Yes,
coast and
yes.
staying in
But
bed
those
and
things are
breakfast.
priceless, and they were so
I'm not mad at it.
pleasurable.
But you could have had a good experience at other bed. You picked that bed and breakfast. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
No TV. You're watching on
Yeah.
your freaking phone. But that's fine. You had a good meal. It was worth it. The $6 at Publix, you get mad about. I can't lie. That's a little confusing to
Because
understand.
again, if you're selling 5-gallon jugs of water at a Publix, it shouldn't matter. They should have, especially since all the brands are owned by the same parent
Yes.
corporation.
Oh no, they should have taken it back. I don't get it.
It should be across the
I just think
board.
it's funny that you're so
I
adamant
need
about it.
and I need this to be addressed by Publix corporate. They need to institute new policies that say if a store sells 5-gallon jugs of water, you can return the empty no
To
matter
any
what
store.
brand it is, considering they're all owned by the same parent corporation.
Yes.
Man, I'm in a lather again.
You
All right,
are.
let's
And
take the
these
third
guys
and
are
final
looking at
break.
us, so I think they want us
Yeah,
out of
they
here.
want us out of here. We are ridiculous. All right, we'll be back with more on the lunchbox after these words. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Looking for inspired comfort food in a cozy setting? Blue Collar in Miami is the place to go. Located at 6789 Biscayne Boulevard, it moved to bigger digs a year ago, now has full liquor, and still features all your old favorites from chef owner Danny Surfer. Fantastic burgers, the braise of the day, and the city's best key lime pie. And the summer specials are sizzling with BOGO lunch sandwiches every weekday from noon to 5 p.m. in June and July, Miami Spice menu in August, September, and drink specials every day. Open daily with weekend brunch. For reservations and information, go to bluecollarmiami.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, upscale food in a down-home setting, the chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have daily happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. That's going to do it. I'm sorry for my harangue, but Publix, you're on my shit list. And just ask Houston's, you know, it's really
that's not a great place to be.
Luby, tomorrow we're going to be at Gilbert's, 17th Street
literally
Grill,
tomorrow.
right next to the Publix.
So what
where
day
I
was this?
can-
Was this like Saturday at least?
No, I attempted to return after Gulfstream on Friday at my
Friday. Okay.
old Publix.
That's fine. So
Because
It was going to be 5 days. You make coffee every day.
oh, no.
Fine. If it was today,
Oh, I have
I'm
another
gonna tell
full
you-
jug. I always keep a reserve. This is the reserve
Oh,
jug.
Mayo. So you could have just waited to Tuesday.
It's not the point.
I get it. I totally get it.
Depending on my location every day, I can shop at different Publixes. And,
I totally get it.
and on the way back from Gulfstream, it's the most convenient.
I
thing.
understand.
All right, I am
I think
ridiculous.
that's a little asinine.
It's
Yes.
great.
If you actually have another drug, then
Gilbert's,
give us
yeah, I got up
That's
the
psychotic,
dosage on
yeah.
everything. Oh, good news! You know, I was lamenting because I gained 5 pounds on
Yeah.
vacation. I was
Well,
back
you're on
up to
vacation.
228
Okay.
after vacation.
Okay.
And last week I ate a lot. I had a lot of pizza. I was drinking more.
Yeah, but
It
you were
doesn't-
exercising every day.
It doesn't seem like the Ozempic was effective in terms of curbing my
Appetite.
appetite, and even I've been craving alcohol lately. I had a couple of beers over the
Well,
weekend.
your body's getting adjusted to it. I mean,
and I had 3 old fashions.
but do you understand? Okay, because what people do is up the dose, which I think is scary, and
it
I'm
goes
not
to
a fan
1.0. But here's the
Have
thing:
you not been? If you haven't been upping your dose, that's why your body plateaus.
I exercised every day last week. I actually lost the belt buckle loop again
Okay.
this morning, and I got on the scale and I was shocked. 222.
Yeah,
So I lost 6 pounds. You know,
you're being active.
The weight that I gained on vacation is already gone, plus a pound. I'll be in the 2 teens before you know it.
Just keep
And
this activity.
199, here I come. That was my goal. I wanted it by September, but if I get there by Thanksgiving,
Yeah, that's fine.
I can deal with that. So 222 is the weigh in today.
That's nice.
I'm ecstatic.
That's good.
And maybe arguing with people at Publix is good for me.
Get
It
your
burns calories.
fires.
Wish this was
Just
filled
bring
with
it
vodka right
tomorrow.
now.
Yeah, exactly. Just bring it tomorrow.
Okay, everybody.
Gilbert's is on
We'll
17th.
see you at Gilbert's tomorrow. Wednesday, we're at Juan's.
Nice.
Alex and great Mandarin and Cantonese, Chinese food. Jarrell, we're going to do next Wednesday after the 4th, not Thursday. Thursday, I think we'll have a home day before we go out to Gulfstream for the 4th,
Okay.
unless I could wrestle up some other
Yeah, nice.
unsuspecting characters. That's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Dear Olivia
Yeah,
in
this place is gonna be
Parkland,
fantastic.
coming soon. They say July 28th.
I believe him.
No, Eddie's pretty good. When he gives
Yeah.
a date, he means it.
Once he gives a date, he's finding a way to
Yep.
get to that date.
And all these stuff is here. It will be so.
No, it's here.
All right, Luby, give my regards to Shirley.
Shall.
See everybody tomorrow. Until then, enjoy every sandwich.